You know, the Holocaust has given us many stories of sacrifice and courage. And in life, as you know, you have to sacrifice. You must have courage in order to get through. Now, this is one of the stories that I'm about to tell you. Now, as most of you know, and you've heard of Roman Polanski, he was an actor, director here in Hollywood, and he had a family in California. And his family was murdered by Charlie Manson, who is now serving time in prison for the crime. Now, I have a particular closeness to this story because the Tate LaBianca murder took place less than 1 mile from my home. And this is the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, because I want to make a point. Now, at the time, I was living on a street right off of Mulholland Drive. Now, when the Roman Polanski was a young kid, he and his father and family lived in Poland. And they were rounded up by the Nazis and forced into a Polish concentration camp. Somehow, Polanski's father arranged for a local family to take young Roman in. And then the father, somehow, some way, obtained a pair of wire cutters, and he cut through a section of the barbed wire fence, just enough so that little Roman could slip through to freedom to live with his new family. Well, later that day, Roman's father, along with most of the other men in the camp, were killed. Now, this story of Roman Polanski is a story of a father's love for his son. And this is the theme of the subject. The theme of my subject is the Father's love for us. Now, we are under the law, says St. Paul, and we thought that the law could save us. But the law only serves to remind us that we don't measure up. We can never be good enough. It is not the law that serves us. It is faith in Jesus Christ. If there were any other way to salvation, then Christ would have not needed to die. But his sacrifice for us was a free gift. There is nothing we can do to earn it. We have only to accept it. Now, for some reason, the message of grace confuses many followers of Jesus. We refuse to accept that salvation is so simple. You say, well, there must be more to it. There must be something we can do. But there is not. Nothing at all. We live by not the works, but by faith. Now, you're saying, Dr. Cross, what does that mean? Living by faith is, first of all, accepting God's unconditional love. Now, that's a problem, a real big problem for a lot of us. We are not used to that unconditional love. And I want to read something here for you. I myself no longer live, but Christ lives in me. So I live my life in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. That's unconditional love. Now, a wife said to her husband, honey, I saw a nice dress that I would like to have. And if you make me happy, I'll make you happy, whatever that means. Or the mother said to the child, she says, Jimmy, if you're a good boy, mommy will bring you some candy. Now that's conditional, conditioned on the fact that if you be good, whatever good is, and good can be subjective in many cases, but whatever good is, I don't know what good is. The kid probably doesn't know either, but he likes the sound that if he's good, he will get candy. Why does it have to be conditional? Another situation where a young man might say to his date, well, I'll take you to dinner and a movie. What do I get out of this? There's another condition there. You know, we are so used to earning love based on our ability to perform, conform, or reform. We are used to the constant, subtle message that we will be loved if we measure up first. Now, it is good to remind ourselves that God's love for us is unconditional. God loves us no matter who we are. We are loved no matter what we do or don't do. That is a message that every child of God needs to hear, particularly while they are still young. Parents need to tell their young daughters that they don't need to do anything to be loved. You don't have to do anything to be loved. If you have to do something to be loved, that's conditional, isn't it? Based on a condition that you do this, then this will happen. They don't need to do that. They don't need to have sex with their boyfriends in order to be loved. A couple that I know took in a young girl that was all messed up. Her mind was messed up. She didn't have a clear thought within her mind as to how to live her life. And during the time, or I should say during her time with them, this young girl was in and out of trouble. She was kicked out of school. But the couple loved her anyway. They had a motto that they asked the girl to repeat every night before she went to bed. And the motto was this: God does not love me because I am good. He loves me because I am precious, and I am precious because God died for me. Now you can say this too and really mean it. I want you to say that and believe it, because this is the message of the gospel. God does not love us because we are good. God loves us because we are precious. And we are precious because Christ died for us. Unconditional love changed this young girl's life. And that was a minister by the name of Pastor Lloyd Ogilvie. He was formerly a chaplain of the United States Senate. And he tells of always feeling like he needed to earn his father's love. Now, when he came to Christ, Ogilvie still struggled with the feeling of not being able to measure up. He had that problem. He had that hang-up. His feelings toward God were like his feelings toward his real father. No matter what he did, he was sure it just wasn't good enough to merit God's love. Now, one day a seminary professor saw Lloyd Ogilvie in the hallway. He got right up close and in his face. You know what that means, up close and in your face. And he said to him, "My dear boy, you are loved now." That's the message of God's love. You are loved now, not when you clean up your act or when you've proved you're worthy, but now